how can you say your day's going? Probably better than Elias's because, well, he was technically assaulted by a delightful little ragamuffin falling from the sky directly onto his face. So, other than a return journey to the dragon realm or continent or wherever it was, Iceland or whatever, I wonder what else is going to crop up in this episode. But we all know how much you, me, everyone enjoys Mahoutsukai no Yome, so sit back nice and comfortably, and let's begin. No! Where's my intro directly from the start? That is quite the blizzard. Did that cloaked figure just have digitigrade legs as well? Why would they back off? I'm still not entirely sure on the mechanics of how the Aurora Borealis manifests itself. I remember looking at least into it last time it cropped up somewhere, but I can't remember. It is a funny little element of beauty that the world has, I guess. And with Elias's... Was it a promise that he was going to tell her more about himself once he had thought about his answer? But having a... I don't actually know for sure if I will feel better or not after hearing the ins and outs of his existence. I kind of like him as is at the minute. I don't want anything to be sullied. Nice sprig of mint with your drink. Telling him what to do. Because he's not invited. Yes! Will he allow her to, Is this relation by title only kind of thing? How obstructive would your life be if beings like this just intruded in on every moment? Oh. It grew quite quickly. How are the others then? And it's hard to tell what kind of expression Elias had there, since his face is, well, kind of stuck in that position, isn't it? Good advice. Hopefully not foreshadowing. Is he going to be alright without her there? I want to see more of Silky for some reason. Very useful. You don't really want to see a dragon flying through the sky, especially people who aren't introduced to this world, I guess. You see, it looks fun, but at the same time, huge wind resistance against your face probably wouldn't feel all too great. Is Ruth still holding on? He didn't finish his tea. Hopefully he's not going to be waiting for her return, unmoving. Does it want a prize, a reward for doing so? Despite everything that's happened so far. In what ways? If those reindeer-looking fellas create the path underneath them, how has no one noticed it? Just great pathways of ice and crystals and whatnot. I know this place is meant to be relatively abandoned, or at least uninhabited. Hmm. So who is this all-encompassing master? I imagined we'd be revisiting the dragon's tree. You're not going to point out which is the best branch to take? No safety equipment. Well, it could. Close the window then. I mean, I've heard of messenger pigeons. What a development. There's more people taking interest by the day. Just munching down on fresh fish. That seal thing. How many times did she take a tumble from the tree? Very useful. Healing wounds would be incredibly good, but it can't heal the march of time. Even if you asked, would he have told you? Hmm. Yeah, we've seen her. Well, we've heard her have that kind of acceptance. We've been told of her past, and like everyone keeps abandoning her, but we haven't really been shown the depths of what that got to. Just to stop him leaving, she's okay with basically accepting everything. Well, someone's got to. Wow. Before the industrial age. Are they going to try to wrap it around to historical mythology and whatnot with mages and from throughout history? If they mention Merlin, well, everyone has that kind of question at some point, don't they? What is your purpose, so to speak? That twinkling ice sound effect that keeps shifting about just behind me, from what it sounds like, because surround sound, is actually annoying. Hello, Elias. Not quite as dignified as his current get-up, but still. Have we seen Elias eat normal food? Unless he can sustain himself on tea, like a true Brit. So did he exist beforehand, but he only became conscious? So there's more of a story that's not even known. Yes, and don't think I let that him staring longingly at the neck go unnoticed. So what would you class Elias is at this point? Elias as at this point? Kind of like a low-tech sat-nav. Treating Elias like a small child. Don't wander off too far. Are you really telling you, you jerk? And how long were they walking across the water for? Oh, the Lindell tree. And he seemed to follow me. Can I keep it? I think you went a bit too far in the other direction. The juxtaposition between his size and frame and that skull. Any small details? Great. There could be a multitude of things that are red. Certain things spring to mind, though. and then send him out into the world. So they're not entirely cut off, but they're still at this point not trying to interfere too much. They're not segregating themselves away. I'm off. Quite headstrong. Little Chippy Elias. So did Elias have any magical knowledge before being taken in? Hmm. I sense only bad things in the future for many characters that are being shown off in flashbacks and the like. You've been stood there blankly for 48 minutes so far. I still think a walkie-talkie pigeon is less efficient than a phone, but still. Chise has quite the complicated character. Her acceptance that she is unwanted and a nuisance is quite unhealthy. And it is nice that they came back to the dragon tree to pick up the wand. Is she going to craft it herself as well? As part of her training? And the two characters of Elias and Chise seem somewhat similar in how they both can be very dangerous. And if they weren't given the correct upbringing, then their lives and paths could be quite different. And something that I didn't quite expect Mahoutsukai no Yome to venture into is the effects of nature versus nurture. Elias could be a force for great evils, and we've seen the potential, at least, there, haven't we? And yet, because he was taken in and, I presume, at least, treated fairly and told the limits of what he should be doing. And the same goes for Chisei. Quite easily, her backstory could be the origin point of a supervillain. Am I wrong? Having vast power and due to that being shunned by everyone, losing her family, having no self-worth, decides to take it out on the world. That and, well, we saw what happens when Chisei gets a little bit mad, haven't we? Warping reality itself. But now we got to the end of that, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, let me know down below in the comment section or by leaving a like. Now of course this isn't the only episode of Mahoutsukai that is going on today. And just because you got this one doesn't mean you'll get ones in the future. To make sure you do, join up to the channel and subscribe and turn on notifications. Or, if you're not about that YouTube life, use the links in the description to head on over to my Discord instead. It's marginally acceptable, but make sure to look after yourself so we can watch more on Mahoutsukai. And riding in on a gorgeous white dragon off to whisk me away into the wonderful world of anime are my patrons. And without them I'd be taking quite a lot longer. So truly I do mean it. Florida Sal, Raywin, Yuki Ali, Aegis TR, Denamet 1997, Louis Almanza, Aisha M, Danny Chui, Daniel Jorgensen, ASD, and of course everyone else. Thank you.